few years since I've played Elden, making our way through Limgrave, meeting Santa.
Greetings,
Melina was a key player
traveler
in this game.
from
I forget
beyond the
exactly
fog.
what she does though.
I am Melina. Bequeath to you
Melina
this
does
ring.
give us the spirit calling whistle. It's to summon Torrent. The Groveside Cave, a particularly gross place. This is where we meet our first boss, the Beastman of Farm Azula. I do like that this is just a regular enemy later on in the game. I am doing no damage. I really need to update my weapon here. I do like 20 damage and then eventually it does build up because this is just a dagger. Honestly, he's pretty difficult, so whatever, I'll just take it. Shit. So I run into Melina and she does give me a pretty good weapon. It's called the Spirit Calling Bell, and it helps me summon spirits to help me in battle.
I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
So Torrent's former master is Mikola. I am pretty sure that we learn more about that in the DLC. I haven't played the DLC yet, but there's a lot more lore that I can learn from there. After getting the Spirit Calling Bell, I go back to the Beastman of Farm Azula, where I do use the Spirit Calling Bell to get some puppy dolls, and I finally defeat the boss.
Go, Dante.
Finally defeated him. Thank you, Puppy Coco, Puppy Dante, for that dub. Rumfoot Catacombs probably smells terrible here. Ew. New side of Grace unlocked. Okay. After running down here, I quickly realized it's a wild place. Eventually, we do make it down to our first summoning pool. After some time, we get to this place where the gremlins are stuck to the wall like frogs. We quickly shimmy up this ladder, drop down, and open up the vault. After opening up the vault, we make our way down to the Archibald Watchdog, which is the second boss that I run into. Looks more like a cat than a dog, much more like Casper than anything else. Honestly, this cat dog did take me a couple iterations. Fire breathing cat. And it definitely moves like it's glitched. The dogs really helped me out here, and I eventually defeat this boss. Next order of business was to really upgrade my weapon, so I made my way to the tunnels. Elden Ring tunnel, I took the elevator down, found another site of grace, and opened that up. Once we open up that side of grace, we use the summoning pool just in case we need any puppy dogs for any help. The reason why we went all the way down here is to get some smithing stones to upgrade our weapons. The enemies down here are pretty slow, not that difficult. What's tricky about these tunnels is it's really confusing and there's so many options on which way to go, so you can get lost easily. Eventually I make my way to another elevator and take that down. Down here I find a lot of smithing stones to upgrade weapons. So I ran past most of the enemies and grabbed as many stones as possible. Defeating these enemies wasn't worth much, and all I really wanted was just the stones. There's a lot going on down here, but eventually I find all the smithing stones and take the elevator down. After taking the elevator down, we go to the third boss, which I find is the Stone Digger Troll. He's pretty easy, the easiest out of all three. However, my weapon is basically useless against him. I do no damage. So I do eventually change my weapon, but you can see that I'm doing like 20 with my dagger. So I ended up changing my weapon and also using the puppies against him, and that really did help. Eventually I do defeat him and I get a war medallion. Shortly after this I ran to a Geo Lake, and honestly the dragon can defeat me in one swipe. After that debacle I ran into Yura, who had some very choice words for me.
I can tell you want to see it through. Seems I'm forever crossing paths
After
with
Yura's
hearters like
choice words for me, I make my way down to Castle Morn and activate the summoning pool. Now Castle Morn, let me tell you, it's a wild place. Wild place. It's a little crazy over here. Basically everybody for themselves, everyone's fighting each other. I forget the actual lore of Castle Morn, but I'm pretty sure the Omen kind are fighting Godric soldiers. Once I solve that problem, I just quickly run up the stairs, where Edgar is chillin'. Once freeing the castle, you know, he gives me a twig, so I would call it even. So I scampered around a bit after conversing with Edgar, found a lost site of Grace. Ran into a couple enemies, had a couple jumps and hops, and finally, behind Castle Morn, we found Leonine. He moves so fast. Leonine absolutely humiliates me. And then I come back and this run is actually pretty decent. Not sure how he didn't hit me there, but I'll take it. I was able to get into his last 25% health. I decided to explore, find some smithing stones, and go hang out at the round table. After exploring a while, I did find one of my favorite bosses, a minor Erdtree. Say what you want about the repeating bosses, but I think they're so fun. So after fighting the Erdtree for a little bit and realized that my blade needs to be upgraded, I do pretty much only 20 damage. Still, it's so fun fighting this boss. The tree with the 12-foot vertical. Nice. After playing against the Erdtree a couple times, I realized I really need to upgrade my weapon, so let's go do that. So I upgraded my weapon as well as leveled up a little bit. I upgraded and learned using these curved swords. I decided to give them a spin with this demi-human mob. Is it me, or does this demi-human queen look like a beagle? Anyways, I end up defeating her, and I get a pretty good staff. After exploring a bit, guess who I run into? The one and only Margit.